could emerge from this time of sheltering much stronger together. Illusions which shattered our seclusion this past year can help us demystify systemic oppression and rekindle dreams. Outrageous acts of violence disrupted the vulnerability experienced during shelter in place. In Nova Scotia, the initial reports of shooting, burning, and rampage described the white male suspect as such a nice guy. Early reporting from the CBC interviewed a woman from the Canadian Femicide Observatory for Justice and Accountability, naming ongoing domestic abuse, and reporters interviewed a neighbor who had moved across the country from one of the houses torched because she had feared him so much. But the RCMP commissioner could not say the word femicide, and reporting dried up, as has detailed reporting of increased domestic partner and child abuse. We claim sacred space and become stronger together as we boldly name the terror and violence that misogyny tries to normalize. Violent rage is not normal and requires demystifying skills to bring us together to take action. Confused and overwhelmed, we too want to look away. But clear-headed, magnified by calm, and fortified by community, we act with confidence, acting in the urgent moment and laying out a long-term strategy. Media, laws, policing making it criminally costly to harm women, strengthening all organizations in our communities, creating safety nets where danger exists, and changing conditions so women, children, and families can thrive. Demystifying misogyny makes it impossible for all branches of government, community agencies, and faith communities to shrug and look away. We demystify misogyny as we listen deeply to our stories and hear ourselves to speech and hold our gaze. By demystify, I mean asking, why? Why does violence against women continue? Really, how many laws, systems, organizations, policies, and attitudes must change to end systemic sexism? The pandemic revealed how unsafe and stained our public sacred space is for women. A second outrageous injustice made visible was the knee to the neck that killed George Floyd, whose hands were already shackled. So many killings of men and women and youth by police, continuing protests. But this time we were at home and watched what we didn't want to believe. Some went to the streets to protest, while many who stayed home were one with the protesters, together pondering why, after all the years of working for racial justice, we're in this crisis now. What is systemic racism? Who has a vested interest in white supremacy? What is white privilege? Finally, settler Canadians acknowledge this isn't just a problem in the U.S. Now is also the time to demystify racism. By demystify, I mean asking, why? Why does systemic racism continue? Really, how many laws, systems, organizations, policies, and attitudes must change? The pandemic revealed how unsafe and stained our public sacred space is for Black and Indigenous peoples of color.